What's going on, folks? It's Moji, the King of the North. It's Mojini, baby, and I'm here to give you everything I know about Tormund Giantsbane next season. Yes, folks, Tormund Giants, babe. The Mead King of Ruddy Hall. The Slayer of Bears, the Sleeper of Bears. The new Wildling King himself. Yes, folks, we talking about Tormund. The ginger man himself. Alright, now let's get some things correct here first. Tormund is basically the king of the wildlings now. Would be considered king beyond the wall, but they're not beyond the wall anymore. They're inside. They're in the north. He's best friends with Jon Snow. He's his right-hand man, folks. So that means Tormund gets the prize pickings. He is the main man. His counsel is highly regarded by Jon Snow, even more than Davos Seaworth. Tormund's been with Jon since the beginning, through thick and thin. Once enemies, now friends. They battled and reaved. They pillaged and seethed. Tormund even killed one of the Umbers. So we got a lot of questions. This was a special request from my subscribers, and I'm gladly here to do it for ya. What's Tormund doing next season? What's his plans? Well, we got a few castles that are unoccupied right now in the north. And guess who gets the first pick? Yep, that's right, Tormund. Tormund gets the first pick. The Karstarks are gone. The Dreadfort is up for grabs, and even the Umber Hold of the Last Hearth. This is completely going away from the book, because Moors, Umber, and Crowfoot are still alive in the books for the Umbers, but... Now first, let's talk about the Dreadfort. Roose Bolton, killed by his son Ramsay Bolton. Ramsay Bolton, dead, killed by Jon Snow at the end of the Battle of the Bastards. Karstark, Lord Karstark, killed, presumably dead in the Battle of the Bastards. So that leaves us with the Dreadfort unoccupied and the Karstark Hold unoccupied. This is major, folks. As a reward after the Battle of the Bastards, Jon Snow, the King of the North, is now going to parcel out the traitors' lands, the Bolton lands and the Karstark lands. These are going to be parceled and sent out, and these lands are going to be given to Jon's most loyal and trusted battle commanders. First and foremost, that's Tormund Giantsbane, and I see Tormund taking over the Dreadfort. Even though the Karstark Hold is probably closest to Wildling lands, Wildlings don't need to be beyond the wall anymore, so it doesn't matter. So they're going to take whichever castle is the biggest. Obviously, that is the Dreadfort. These lands in the north are rich with land and game. The Wildlings won't even believe their eyes. A castle of their own. This is major, folks. Wildlings have never, ever gotten anything remotely close to what Jon Snow was about to give Tormund Giantsbane and presumably other wildling chieftains, taking over castles that belong to other northern lords. Even though they are traitors, you would probably assume that Jon Snow would give these lands to another northern house, possibly the Mormonts. Little Lady Mormont gave 60-odd men to the cause. Now, she's going to want something in return. The Mormont lands are not rich in game, and they're not large. It's an island. They got plenty of bears, but you need income to swell up a house. And the Dreadfort and the Karstark lands are massive, massive lands. And I'm presuming that Jon is going to get some backlash from a lot of the northern houses if he gives this to Tormund. Another thing is, I cannot wait to see what Tormund's house sigil is going to be. In my opinion, I think it's going to be a mammoth tusk sitting on a black field. That looks sharp and it looks nice. You know, there's a lot of things Tormund, the Mead King of Ruddy Hall, can choose, but I think a wildling symbol of mammoth bones seems fierce and right. If you're gonna take over the Dreadfort and be the new Lord of the Dreadfort, you better replace the flayed man of the Boltons with something vicious to scare other men, as the flayed man of the Boltons did for centuries beyond. Now, let me go back to the map of the North here for a second. I don't know if anybody notices, but the Umber, Karstark, and Bolton lands all surround each other, folks. This is a crucial detail not to overlook. Strategically, it's important. Whoever gets any one of these lands, whether it's the Dreadfort or the Karstark lands or the last Hearth of the Umbers, will possibly rule all three since they're adjoined to each other. If Tormund gets the Dreadfort, which I believe he will, you can pretty much say that Tormund will be one of the richest new houses and lord in the north. Now, other than Tormund being one of the newest and richest lords that are going to come into being in the north, you're going to get some jealousy. The Manderleys of White Harbor have a very old and rich house. They're considered one of the newest houses in the north. They were actually from the Reach area near the Tyrells, got kicked out a couple hundred years ago and came over to the north, and the Starks allowed them to settle in White Harbor, and they've been staunch Stark allies ever since. Their lands are kind of close to the Dreadfort, and they're probably going to be happy that the Boltons aren't in the Dreadfort anymore, because everybody's going to be happy that the Boltons are gone now. But you will probably see some jealousy. You're going to see the Knights of the Vale, in my opinion, are going to want some return on saving the day in the Battle of the Bastards. Could some of the Knights of the Vale, possibly Bronze Jan, get a piece? I definitely see Littlefinger doing some things, maybe talking in Bronze Jan's ear, telling him that Jon Snow owes them lands in the north for coming and saving them against the Boltons and the Umbers. We will definitely see some sort of conflict with that, just like we saw them conflicting at the end of last season. The Knights of the Vale and the Wildlings had a little bit of spat in the hall at Winterfell. So you're going to see that, especially if Bronze Jan sees that Jon Snow has given Tormund Giantsbane, a wildling, keys to the Dreadfort. And remarking back to my last video where I talked about the shots we got, the leaked photos on set with the little boy and the red-haired girl, I changed my opinion on this now. At first, I thought that this possibly could be a flashback of Littlefinger. I won't say that it's not still possible that it's Littlefinger and a young Catelyn Stark, as so many people have said in their other videos. But I'm starting to think now that we may be getting a major Northern Alliance. And of course, any Northern Alliance means a marriage. Now, this young boy could be the last living heir of a Karstark or an Umber. Obviously, the Boltons have no more sons remaining after Fat Walda was killed and her baby. So, we could be seeing a marriage between a Karstark house and an Umber house to solidify their holds on the north and their allegiance to Jon Snow, because those families are now left without a lord. House Karstark doesn't have a lord, House Umber doesn't have a lord, but obviously they have family in the house. They're going to want to pledge their allegiance to Jon Snow, the new king of the north, and what better way than to say we will marry our houses together. Obviously the Starks don't have anybody to give away for marriage other than Sansa, but if one of the houses in the north say, I will marry one of my daughters or my son to this lord to prove my allegiance to you, Jon Snow, so be it. Maybe a marriage to a Manderley, who knows? But it definitely looks like Northern alliances are going down. There could even be a marriage between Tormund's daughters and one of the leftover houses in the north. There's definitely going to be some major conflicts with Tormund Giantsbane getting a new house and a castle in the north taking over for the Dreadfort. You're gonna see a major amount of jealousy from other northern lords, I believe, even though they have now bent the knee to Jon Snow as the king of the north. You don't just give wildlings land. You saw how the House Glover was acting when he was told that the wildlings were part of the army against the Boltons. There's a whole old rivalry here, and it's gonna take a while for the wildlings to be accepted. But any new house will always be looked down upon. But Tormund is the winner here. Staunch ally to Jon Snow from the first. He deserves the Dreadfort. Alright guys, I hope you liked my breakdown of what's in store for Tormund next season. Definitely some new good things for Tormund. Some new powers, some new land, and some new things. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, and please share. It's the King of the North, and I'm out. Mo Genie, Mo Genie, Mo Genie.